Imagine trying to physically high-five a ghost. You try, your hand goes right through, but the ghost is actually laughing because they just divided the space between you an infinite number of times. That's not a ghost story, that's Gojo Satoru's infinity, and it's not just powerful, it's actually insane. Mathematically unbeatable, no debate. But does infinity truly mean infinity in JJK, or is there a hidden catch we're all missing? Stick around, because by the end of this, you'll understand why even touching Gojo is a physical impossibility. You'll never look at his technique the same way again. Now hear me out. When people talk about Gojo's power, they often focus on the flashy stuff like Hollow Purple, right? But the real secret sauce, the thing that makes him practically untouchable, is Limitless. Specifically, infinity. It's not just a cool name. It's a fundamental manipulation of space itself, making it impossible for anything to ever reach him. Think about it like this. If you want to punch Gojo, your fist has to traverse the distance between you two, right? Simple physics. But what Gojo's infinity does is take that distance and constantly divide it. Having it, then having it again, and again, infinitely. It's like trying to get to a wall by repeatedly walking half the remaining distance. You'll get closer and closer, but you'll never actually touch the wall. You are trapped in Zeno's paradox, applied to actual physical space. This isn't just power scaling, this is canonically how Limitless works. The manga confirms it. It's not just a defensive barrier, it's an active, always-on state. Gojo doesn't consciously put up a shield every time something flies at him. His technique, infinity, is passively creating infinite layers of space, making everything slow to a crawl or outright stop before it ever makes contact. It's like trying to push a car uphill with a tiny feather. The car technically could move, but the force required is so minuscule, it just stops. Except with Gojo, the car uphill feather is literally everything trying to reach him, and the car is the concept of physical contact. Mind-blowing, isn't it? This continuous division means that any attack, any projectile, any physical interaction has to cross an infinite number of points in space to reach him. And that, my friends, is an impossible task in any finite amount of time. Now, some might say, but what about speed? If something is fast enough, it could just bypass it, right? Low-key, that's a common misconception. Speed doesn't matter here. You could be moving at the speed of light, but if the distance you need to cover is being infinitely divided in front of you, you're still stuck. It's not a matter of speed, it's a matter of traversing an infinite number of points. It's the ultimate firewall. Always recalculating, always adding more layers. So whether it's a slow curse or Sukuna's fastest slash, the principle remains the same. They're all trying to cross an infinite chasm that constantly rebuilds itself. But wait, there's more. The truly impressive part and what makes Gojo unique is not just having this technique, but maintaining it. To constantly divide space, to run Zeno's paradox in real time, requires processing power that's, frankly, astounding. And that's where the Six Eyes come in. The Six Eyes aren't just fancy vision. They give Gojo the ability to perceive and process cursed energy with incredible precision and efficiency. He can see the flow of cursed energy, understand techniques down to their atomic level, and most importantly for infinity, he can manage the intricate, complex calculations required to keep his Limitless technique active 24/7 without draining him instantly. It's like having a supercomputer in his brain, constantly running complex algorithms for spatial manipulation. This isn't just a powerful ability, it's a resource management masterpiece. The Six Eyes reduce the cursed energy cost of techniques to nearly zero. Imagine having an app on your phone that normally drains your battery in minutes, but you have a special processor that makes it run for days on end with almost no energy usage. That's what the Six Eyes do for Limitless. Without them, Gojo wouldn't be able to maintain infinity, he'd be exhausted instantly. It's why he's considered the strongest, not just because of the technique, but because he has the asterisk hardware to run it indefinitely. This is where the unbeatable part really solidifies. It's a perfect synergy of technique and innate ability. So what does this mean for anyone trying to fight him? They can't touch him directly. They have to find a workaround, a loophole. And the manga confirms there are very few. Domain expansion, like Sukuna's malevolent shrine, could bypass infinity because a domain guarantees a hit within its barrier. But even then, Gojo's own domain, Unlimited Void, is so overwhelming that it usually wins the domain clash, or at least neutralizes the threat. We've seen attempts to nullify cursed techniques, like domain amplification, but even that requires direct contact, which, you guessed it, infinity prevents. It's a vicious cycle for his opponents. They need to touch him to negate him, but they can't touch him because of infinity. It's an actually insane catch-22. The mathematical truth of infinity is that it's a concept of boundlessness. You can't reach the end of something that has no end. Gojo isn't just making himself invisible, He's making himself infinitely distant from everything that isn't him. It's a constant, active, self-sustaining manipulation of reality on a fundamental level. It's why Gojo is Gojo. It's why he stands alone at the top of the power scaling charts. It's not just hype. It's physics and mathematics, twisted into a cursed technique that is, for all intents and purposes, perfect defense. So, the next time you see Gojo effortlessly dodging attacks, remember, it's not just a quick flick of his wrist. It's the universe itself bending to his will, constructing an infinite series of barriers that make contact fundamentally impossible. It's mind-bending to think about, but once you grasp the underlying math, his dominance makes complete sense. And that, my friends, is why Gojo's infinity is mathematically unbeatable, no debate. What other JJK techniques do you think have a deeper, hidden, mathematical or scientific truth? Let me know in the comments below. And for more deep dives into your favorite anime, make sure you hit that subscribe button. You won't want to miss what's coming next.